People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in. If you're anywhere in the world and you're looking at social media, there's emerging reports that Christopher Nkunku is to join Arsenal on loan with a option of a permanent in the summer. Again, it's just speculation and rumours, but that's all us Arsenal fans got at this moment in time, as January is about to end soon. And I know we've heard our manager speak of signing players on loan and things like that, but the quicker time goes on, the more nervous you get. But when we linked with him, I thought, oh, like, I'm actually on it. I actually wanted to sign for the club if it's nothing, if it's more than mere speculation. I like him. In regards to his potential and things like that, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know people. I do think he could surprise a few, but I don't know just how far he can go. Just what I do know about him, he's got everything you look for in an Arsenal player. He's got obviously, he wouldn't be at PSG if he never had technical qualities. He's got a good technical level. What I like about him is he's got bravado. Wherever he is on a football pitch, I know on a regular basis for PSG, he's been on the peripheral of things. So the minutes he's had to play on the left, on the right. I've even seen he's playing at right back against someone earlier on in the season. He's only made 16 appearances, and that's more football than I thought he would actually play this season. Because for those of you that listen to my Q&As and things like that, although I don't think I have a video on this guy specifically, I've touched on him and I said I think he needs to leave to get first team. But Tuchel's played a couple of them sporadically, and it's not that much minutes. But he's played them more than I thought they could get chances at PSG. And when you go and look statistically at the minutes he's playing, even though I think it's not enough to develop, it's still a lot in it. But back to the main thing, obviously the technical ability is there. He's actually played against Arsenal's under 18s, or is it under 19s technically, when we was in the youth gen. So Arsenal fans have seen him, but he's got bravado on a regular basis. He's a central mid. Probably if you could say to him, he probably enjoy a free role, but just where he defines himself out wide or in the middle is just how far he goes in football. He needs to kind of define himself and kind of sort out what he wants to be. Because if you was to ask me, I think he's a central midfielder. I think you could play him in the 10. He's obviously quick, so you can play him on the flanks. And on a regular basis, wherever he is on the field, he comes inside. He wants to get onto the ball. He's drawn towards the ball wherever it is. He wants to get the ball from deep, drive at players, put together neat 1-2s. He's a very creative player in that he provokes situations like that. I do like him. Loosely reminds me of Maximin to a degree, of Nice, to a slight degree. I hope I said his name correctly. Just in terms of how they run at a player, but that's just about it. He's and obviously his hair makes him this very easy to recognise on the football field. From how he was a couple of years ago, I think he's grown physically and in terms of strength as well, because he must have had a growth spurt. He's at these 20 years of age. This is the age where you need to play. As good as you are at PSG, it's tough. You're seeing Adli, you're seeing Claudio Gomez leave. You're seeing him on the peripheral and Soccer on the peripheral. A lot of players, and to be fair to PSG, out of all them sort of clubs there, they give chances to their players. But how feasible is it to really make it unless at this moment in time you're ready to hit the ground running, when you've got you lot see the amount of options PSG have, and even some of the players that are even themselves on the peripheral, like you could say Draxler to a degree and Di Maria, if they're on the peripheral and can't really, if you was to name PSG's strongest side or who they've been playing consistently, they'd be there. But by the same logic, could they not? Nkunku currently doesn't have a chance. Now he needs to go and play football, and this would be a place for him. Obviously, we've got a young squad. We like young players. He's obviously adaptable. Right back's clearly not his thing, but he's put a shift in there. He can slot on the flanks. Like I said, he's a good dribbler. Just where he defines, I say just how far he goes and defines himself is on him, purely because I've seen him, primarily from what I've seen, he's been playing in central positions. PSG's actually done all right out wide, but I don't know if he wants to make that a thing of his in the future. So in regards to which either side, in terms of position he wants to be on the right wing, left wing, or through the middle, depends on him. But I do like him, man. He's very creative. Obviously, we could develop him, and he'd obviously be a prospect. He's got a good range of passing as well, short and long. Like I said, he's got everything. He's got all the base levels you'd expect of someone that is at PSG or someone at Arsenal or linked with a top 6 club. So I'm not going to bore you with the basics of what you should be able to do in that position. But the main thing I like about him is his bravado. He doesn't cower. He wants to be the one to try and make things happen. I like him, man. He's good at protecting the ball and shielding it as well. Defensively, he's improving as well, probably as a result of having to take minutes out wide, or just in terms of playing with senior footballers and having to impress and things like that. Obviously, you're seeing Diaby on the peripheral as well at PSG, but he's probably, out of all the young players, he's getting the most minutes. You obviously seen Weah go on loan, but back to this guy, I think he's a good player, man. I think he makes good runs off the ball as well. Obviously, he doesn't always get picked out at PSG. that being said, his decision making could improve, and he obviously needs to define himself. So he's not going to be the man to immediately move the club forward, but he would be a good addition, and I'd be all up for it. In regards to the fee and things like that, actually, from the reports I've read, it hasn't actually specified that. So this is probably nothing more than paper talk, but you can see how the links would be. Obviously, not everyone's going to be Guendouzi and stuff like that, and he's got a long way to go, but Guendouzi's gone from playing in the second division in France, playing against top six, and arguably being one of the main players in the squad throughout the season. So this is something that could entice young players both home and abroad to come to us. Obviously, Nkunku's obviously worked with Unai Emery at PSG before, so he probably knows him. Probably not the best of relationships in terms of knowing each other inside out, but there's something to work with. The French links with Arsenal, the long French ties with Arsenal of recent years. I say recent years because I know some of you watch me who are old enough to remember a life before Wenger. Unfortunately, I didn't get that, but I'm experiencing it now. So you get the point. He probably could improve in terms of taking his shots. I like his bravado. He will, if a shot's from range, he will take it. He likes to be the one to take responsibility. So in that regards, I guess when he does sign, if he does sign, he probably at times will frustrate us. Will probably hold on to the ball too long. I don't think he's not someone who does that, but what I'm trying to give you examples, probably not picking out the right pass. Like I said, probably electing to shoot when you should pass, probably electing to pass when you should shoot. All of these sort of things that takes you to the next level. In regards to his potential, again, I don't know. I do think he's got potential to play at the top level, but if you're talking mad levels like Kylian and then things like that, I don't think he's got that, or at least I haven't seen anything to suggest that, but I do think he can have a top career playing within the top divisions and play for a top club. He is a good player. I think earlier in the season his dad came out and spoke as well and said that his son needs to play more football to develop as well. And like I said, this year in his 16 appearances, like from what I've been seeing, I actually thought he was playing more football than I would have thought. Of course, again, it's not enough. He's been on the peripheral things at PSG for the last 2 years, and his example is just one of many for young players in all different countries, in that next final step from being a promising young player to making the grade. Sometimes you can be as good, you can be part of the squad. Obviously, he flies for pre-season. He's obviously technically getting minutes, and he's obviously got friends. I'm not saying he's not, but when it comes to the match day or when the manager's really and truly picking his squad, 9 times out of 10, you can almost guarantee that Tuchel's not going with him in mind. That being said, you have seen him start. What game was it? A couple of them PSG kids started. He started a couple others, and I think it was against Monaco, and they beat up Monaco, man, a couple of weeks ago. So they have been getting minutes, but you get the point by now, and I think I've said everything I need to say. Most of you probably know this player more than me as well, so it is what it is, man. So yeah, we've been linked with him. I'd actually be up for it. To be honest, I'd be more up for it than Denis Suarez. I'd probably want him more than Denis Suarez, although if he was to put the two together, currently Denis Suarez is a better player than him because of age and senior experience and all of these sort of things. But yeah, man, it's almost a healthy. It almost feels like a bit of a risk, people, in that I think he's good, but if you was to tell me his potential, well, I can't tell you. There's almost a degree of unknown. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is at this moment in time, man. People deluded. I'm out of here, man. Comment, subscribe, like the vid, subscribe again, like I said, and do anything else. So yeah, I'm out, man. People, thank you.